If rates are too high, it's like leaving a cast on for too long. Spending slows, growth stalls, jobs vanish. If rates are cut too early, it's like throwing gas on a fire. Prices spike, money loses value, the most vulnerable fall behind. When central banks lose independence, markets lose trust. Bond yields rise, the currency falls, investors get cautious. The Fed doesn't always get it right, but imperfection isn't an invitation to installing political volatility of the kind President Trump demonstrates when he exaggerates Powell's missteps or inflates cost overruns at the Fed. The institution was designed to ignore hecklers, even the loudest voice in the room. That's tonight's CBS Evening News Plus. Good night.
Right now at 5, former NBA player Gilbert Arenas arrested. The alleged illegal poker game bust at his local mansion.
Kamala Harris makes a big decision about her political future, but it leaves the door open to more possibilities.
And thieves try to break into the home of a Dodger superstar. The Hollywood Hills investigation, where pitcher Yoshinobu Yamamoto lives.
This is KCAL News, Los Angeles.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us. I'm Pat Harvey.
And I'm Rudabeh Shabazi. We start here at 5 with the arrest of former NBA star Gilbert Arenas. The feds accusing him of running an illegal gambling operation out of an Encino mansion. And
KCAL News assignment editor Mike Rogers at the desk now. Mike, you have been going through the court documents. What do they have?
Yeah, Pat and Rudabeh, they call him Agent Zero. That apparently is Arenas' name. The feds accuse him of working with a high-level Israeli transnational member of a crime group there to conduct all of this at this Encino mansion. Now, court documents that I've gone through charge Gilbert Arenas as well as his co-defendants with running this illegal gambling operation out of this Encino mansion once owned by Arenas. They call it the Gable House because that's the street that it is on. Now, they accuse him of making false statements to federal investigators as well as a part of this. They've got a lot of court documents that they went through, or evidence rather, in those court documents that we've gone through that allege this high-stakes poker game operation going on in this house. I want to show you one of the photos that was in the court documents here, where they actually showed a picture that Arenas allegedly sent to one of the co-defendants, where you can see it's a poker table with the name Arenas on it, calling it the Arenas Poker Club. You see a person in a basketball jersey with the number 0 on it. Appears to say Arenas on the name there on the back of the jersey as well. Now, the feds say this all went on between 2021 and 2022, and they accuse Arenas of working with co-conspirators to make this a pretty high-level event, including bringing in armed security guards, chefs, women that they say would keep companionship with the people playing poker. I want to show you a couple of the pullouts here from court documents that says, quote, they would hire chefs, valets, and armed security for the illegal poker games at the Gable House. The court documents also show text messages between Arenas and his co-conspirators, one of them saying, quote, I have an idea that might bring in new players for you. I'm going to do a YouTube episode of me at the game, but blur out players and girls that don't want to be seen for my channel. Some other text messages include wondering if the girls would do prostitution while at the home. It's unclear exactly if that ever happened, but according to court documents, Arenas and the co-defendants would also take money from the girls that were working there, 25 to 30%, according to some of the text messages. Arenas was in federal court today with his co-defendants. They all, at least Arenas, pleaded not guilty to the charges against him and was released from federal court on $50,000 bond. So far, no statement tonight from his attorney. Guys?
Mike, thank you. A major announcement in the race for governor.
Former Vice President Kamala Harris will not run next year.
KCAL News political reporter Tom Waite is here now.
And Tom, her announcement leaves open the possibility that she could run for president for a third time.
I mean, that's what a lot of people are saying, right? I got to say, I was surprised. I don't know. There was a part of me that thought she might run for governor.
Yeah.
But here we are. All right. So this announcement answers one big question, as Pat and Rudabeh just said, but it also creates new questions. Does the former vice president end up running for president against, say, Governor Newsom? Though Newsom, of course, has not yet announced his intentions. But now you have a wide open field for governor with no clear frontrunner. At this time last year, Vice President Kamala Harris had just become the unofficial Democratic nominee for president after President Biden dropped out of the race. Her historic candidacy energized Democratic voters. Harris, of course, would lose to President Trump in November. Since leaving office in January, speculation swirled over whether she would run for governor or take another shot at the White House. Now at least part of that question is answered. Harris releasing a statement saying in part, "I love this state, its people, and its promise. It is my home. But after deep reflection, I've decided that I will not run for governor in this election. For now, my leadership and public service will not be in elected office."
After you come so close to being president, dealing with budgetary issues in Sacramento maybe doesn't sound that appealing. Her statement hints that she may be considering another race for president. She said, "For now, I'm not running for public office," but those two words leave open a race in 2028.
She made a decision to leave her options open. This is my assessment, to run for president. I don't think she's made that decision yet.
Harris's announcement leaves a crowded field for governor wide open with a long list of candidates. For the Democrats, former Health Secretary Javier Becerra, former OC Congresswoman Katie Porter, former LA Mayor Antonio Villaraigosa, former State Controller Betty Yee, Lieutenant Governor Eleni Kounalakis, former State Senate President Pro Tem Tony Atkins, State Superintendent of Public Instruction Tony Thurmond, entrepreneur Stephen Klubeck. For the GOP, Riverside County Sheriff Chad Bianco, former Fox News host Steve Hilton.
So now it's a wide open race. There is no front runner that we can declare a front runner right now. Everybody's got a shot.
If Harris does take another run at the presidency, it could pit her against Governor Newsom, who many political observers are expecting to also enter the race.
Newsom and Harris have been frenemies ever since their days in San Francisco politics. And this could end up being the culmination of that relationship, and we'll see who comes out ahead.
Political experts say Harris has the benefit of some name recognition, of course, so she can bide her time for a bit, but fundraising will become an issue eventually, so it's unclear how long she may wait to announce her intentions. I guess we just keep playing the waiting game, right?
Yeah, until more announcements are made.
There we go.
Okay, thank you, Tom. Well, people along the West Coast and in Hawaii are breathing a sigh of relief after tsunami advisories and warnings were lifted.
They were issued after an 8.8 earthquake struck off the coast of eastern Russia yesterday. Panicked sea lions dove into the ocean as the massive quake struck off Russia's eastern coast. Buildings along the coast there were flooded, the largest wave as tall as 16 feet. In Northern California, time-lapse video shows boats rocking up and down at a harbor in Half Moon Bay. Hawaii was bracing for the most severe impact. Drivers were stuck in nightmare traffic while trying to evacuate to higher ground, and airports were shut down.
Well, even though advisories were lifted, it's not safe to get back into the water just yet.
The National Weather Service says people should stay cautious over the next 24 hours because of the strong currents. KCAL's Jasmine Veal shows us a few small surges at the Ventura Harbor.
Listen to that, yeah.
This is actually pretty bad.
A strong surge of water rushing past the dock where we stood Wednesday afternoon out of the Ventura Keys.
This is all of the water trying to get out of the Keys that has sort of pushed itself to the back. And you can see, you know, it's starting to actually lift the dock that we're on.
Ventura Harbor Deputy General Manager Todd Mitchell says these strong currents and higher than normal tidal surges are still the result of the magnitude 8.8 earthquake that struck off Russia's peninsula Tuesday.
That was a little bit concerning and probably a little more alarming for the residents of the Keys. But again, I think, got off very lucky considering the magnitude of the earthquake.
I was standing at the point out there watching the wind blow one way and the current go the other way. It doesn't work that way.
Phil Caulfield lives on a boat in the harbor and was watching the water and ready to leave if he had to.
It's past my bedtime, but I want to stick around and I want to stay awake in case something does come up because we don't really have any alarms that go off.
Harbor officials say the tsunami warning was downgraded to an advisory Tuesday night. They did get a small wave through here early Wednesday.
You know, 2-foot waves at the entrance instead of the 1 foot that was predicted.
Ventura Harbor Patrol says there was no damage in the harbor Ventura Keys, but they still decided to keep up these closure signs here at these launch ramps just as a precaution to protect any small vessels out in the harbor.
Right now we have a very high tide, yeah.
Ron Miller lives in the Ventura Keys. He made sure his boat was tied up tight when he heard about the tsunami advisory.
I just came out here, made sure this line was tied.
Locals remember the damage to boats and docks from tsunami surges here in 2011 and 2022.
Fukushima and Toba, they both did damage. We lost one of our docks over there on the other side, separated, and that was kind of surprising. And then up in the Keys, the docks floating away.
Luckily this time, though, only a few strong ripples and currents hitting this part of the coast. In Ventura, Jasmine Vio, KCAL News.
U.S. Open of Surfing in Huntington Beach canceled today's competition due to low surf, and it's not clear if the tsunami had anything to do with those conditions. The competition is set to resume at 6:30 tomorrow morning.
There could still be danger of rip currents, even though the tsunami advisories are over.
And meteorologist Danny Roberti over in the Weather Sphere tracking all of that tonight. Danny?
Danny, thank you. Bail for an Orange County man accused of plowing his vehicle into a crowd outside an East Hollywood nightclub has been set at $37 million. Fernando Ramirez was set to be arraigned this morning, but that was postponed till September 4th. He's facing 74 counts of attempted murder and assault with a deadly weapon.
New here at 5, a district court in New Mexico throwing out a civil lawsuit filed by Alec Baldwin over the handling of the trial involving his Western movie Rust. Baldwin alleged malicious prosecution and civil rights violations during the trial over the death of